have been preparing from such a long time.
Even the Prometric are not taking responsibility. Nobody's taking, everybody's passing the ball on someone other.
Thousands left in the lurch as the online CAT exam continues to crash. Were on-ground conditions not factored in while designing the test? Just why is Prometrics unable to solve the problem? Is India ready for online exams? And what next for CAT aspirants? Call in with all your questions on the CAT crash. Well, it isn't the first online exam being conducted in India, but it possibly is the most ambitious given its scale. Just what went wrong and what's the road ahead? We'll be taking your questions over the next 30 minutes. You're watching the CAT crash. But first, 1 in 5 students have not been able to take the Common Admission Test or CAT to IIMs. Tests were cancelled in 6 centres as glitches continued. The matter was also raised in Parliament, though HRD Minister Kapil Sibal appears to have washed his hands of the matter. Shambhavi Rai gets us up to date.
Mention the word CAT to Hriday Sarath and he'll tell you it was like testing Murphy's Law, that if anything can go wrong, it will.
First of all, there was confusion all around even before the test started. There was a delay. When it finally started, my system did not work. When it finally worked, I was working for 10 minutes. The review screen had 3 options: quit marked questions, quit all questions and quit. I thought quit referred to quitting the review screen. I quit review test screen and the entire test quit.
And it got worse.
I was not even allowed to leave the center and they kept me there for 2 hours doing nothing. They said media is waiting outside. If we go out, we'll get a bad name.
It has been 2 days since the 23-year-old attempted to take the online CAT, but Prometrics still hasn't told him when he can take the test again. It's been the same story across the country for 4 days now. With more than 8,000 students hit, the HRD minister stepped into the muddle today.
Steps should have been taken much prior to the holding of the examination.
Careful and perhaps a little more sensitive, says this engineering student in Mumbai.
Now I'm waiting for the Prometric response when my CAT examination schedule is, and if somewhere around 7th or 8th or 9th, it will be clashing with my engineering exams, and so because of that I won't be able to give the CAT exam properly this year.
IIMs will hold tests till the 7th of December, but with the number of students requiring fresh dates swelling, one hopes good sense prevails and the deadline is extended. With Sholin in Mumbai, in New Delhi, Shambhavi Rai.
So what do IIMs have to say to the students? We'll turn to God for a solution to this man-made trouble. Listen in.
I don't understand technology very well. I'm not from the field. But I don't think anyone other than God can ensure that there will be no glitch at all when it comes to technology. Have you not seen the virus attacks being there even on NASA? Then what are we talking about? Who are we to say that it will never happen?
Well, one assumes Mr. Barua said that in jest, but there really is nothing funny about the fact that the careers of many aspirants here are at stake. And the man in the hot seat, if one may, tonight is Professor Satish Deodar, the CAT convener of IIM Ahmedabad. He's joining us tonight. One understands it might have been a nightmarish situation for you, Professor. We appreciate you taking time out. As also R. Dhirendra, the CEO of Ediquity, someone who's actually dealt extensively in online tests. We'll get straight to the questions that are coming in from students. Here's just to give you a sense of the nature really of the kind of problems that students had faced. Here's Hyderabad, somebody from Hyderabad who attempted to take that test.
My exam took half an hour to get uploaded and it was such a disaster because I tried to concentrate before my exam, but in that half an hour I lost my concentration and I got a little nervous. And then after that, I had so many problems, especially in review button, where they had 2 options. One was end button, another one was review incomplete. And so confusing which to press, because I already heard that by pressing end button, that review won't gonna go off from the screen. In fact, the whole test gonna get ended. So I had this confusion and I asked for the help, but there was no one around.
Professor Deodar, I wonder if you could listen in to what the young lady there from Hyderabad had to say on her own experience with what went wrong, the review button. And this is something that many students have been writing in on our website as well.
Can I go ahead?
Professor, yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Sure. I think I understand the problem that I heard. And you see, I guess my first response is that because this is the first time this kind of test is happening,
and the students are also anxious. Once we got to know of this issue, that students are sometimes by mistake pressing the N button, we have now talked to the site supervisors, and they are rescheduling the tests for the candidates. So immediately if you have pressed the N button and if you have, happen to quit the test, we are going to give a reschedule of the test. So in that sense, candidates are not going to lose out on anything.
Okay. Professor, there's been some confusion on rescheduling as well. I believe a number of our CAT aspirants are going to be calling in over the next 30 minutes. But if I could squeeze in a quick question before we go. We believe between 8,000 to 9,000 students will be going into what you're calling the rescheduling of the test. Is there a thinking within the IIM that you're going to stretch the deadline that was set? Beyond which students will be able to take, or are you going to be setting the deadline for the 7th of December as was planned earlier?